realize existed until quite recently. A big shout out to my buddy Jason for letting me borrow this one. This is a Jake E. Lee signature model, but not by Charvel. This is an ESP. And Jake had a deal in the early to mid 90s with ESP where they basically made him a replica of his #1 guitar. And while his #1 did say Charvel on the headstock, it started life as an early 70s hardtail Strat that was heavily modified. And this essentially bakes all of those cool customized mods into one guitar. It's quite a weighty body, pretty reminiscent of a 70s Strat. I've got a late 70s Strat that weighs a ton, and this is not far off. So hardtail bridge. The original guitar would have come with a humbucker in the bridge and 2 single coils. My buddy Jace has replaced the neck single coil with a stacked Seymour Duncan humbucker in there. You'll notice that they are slanted in the opposite direction to what a Strat normally would be. And you can see the logic there where Strats are bright, single coils are bright, the high string on the guitar is particularly bright, so why not just tilt the pickup slightly more towards the bass side on the high strings and slightly more towards the bridge on the low strings on there. I don't know how much of a difference it actually makes tonally, but I think it's pretty cool. The other mod that you can see has clearly descended from just tweaking a Fender Strat. Master volume and tone, so you get rid of one of the tone controls and you bump each pot back a space. That way when you're playing, you're not kind of bumping the volume control all the time like you would on a Strat. And that's something I know a lot of people complain about with a stock Strat on there. So you can see that's descended straight from there. The classic ESP style headstock on there. This one has some Spertzel locking tuners. I'm not sure if they were a stock option. Then the other interesting thing on here is there's 2 different gauges of fret wire on here. And you can see that I can see, I don't know if you can see on there if this will come through, but basically you have larger frets up to the 12th fret and you've got like a vintage style fret wire on the higher strings on there. It is very, very narrow and very short, whereas these ones here are quite wide and chunky. So that makes for a pretty interesting playing experience on here. Now, being a Jake signature model, I should probably butcher a few Aussie riffs and Badlands riffs. We'll mostly focus on the big chunky tones on here, but I'll give you some cleans as well because I really like the way this middle single coil sounds. Let's hear it. While this guitar isn't exactly reinventing the wheel, it is just a very well executed example of a Strat style guitar. The hardtail bridge, the master volume and tone, as well as their location and the slightly slanted pickups, along with the differing gauge fret wire on here, you can tell is the result of a player just customizing a guitar to his needs on here. And Jake being one of my favorite players of all time, in particular, that first Badlands album, I just love that album on so many levels. This very much fits the vibe on there. And I don't know if it's just because I go, hey, it's a Jake E. Lee guitar, I should play some Jake E. Lee riffs on it, or if it's really geared towards that particular tone and playing. But it's a really comfy guitar. I like the way it sounds, and I can see why my buddy Jason absolutely treasures this guitar. One thing I would say personally, though, is I love that middle single coil on there, and I probably would have left the neck single coil on place if it sounds anything like that. So I like the fact that this is hum cancelling in the neck position, but I kind of like the neck single coil thing on a Strat. That's one of the main reasons I reach for a Strat style guitar. The bridge humbucker sounds fantastic. I would probably revert to having a single coil in the neck, but again, it's not my guitar. That's not the point on there. This started life, I guess, as a recreation of one of Jake's guitars, which he heavily modified. So, Jason, I can see why you'd modify this to do exactly what you would want to do. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you have one of these? Have you seen one before? Do you have one of Jake's signature Charvel guitars? Or have you been inspired by Jake and you've just taken an off-the-wall Strat style guitar and customized it to your needs? Let me know in the comments section below, and I'll see you all on the next one.